All right, so we are going to go over the homework, and I asked if there were any that you wanted me to explain before I just called on you. And so we're going to go over 15 and 16 on here, and they're both the same kind of question. It says name the layer. So your first hint is it doesn't say give me the pressure or give me the depth. It says give me the layer. So we're going to have a word here, not a number for the answer. So that's your first thing you got to think about. So it says name the layer where the pressure is 3.5 million atmospheres. So to do that, since they gave you, you can only start with what they gave you. So they gave you the pressure. So we're going to be using this chart. So they're telling us the pressure is 3.5. So here's pressure. Here's 3. So 3.5 is about halfway there. So all you do is you go take the 3.5, go over till you hit that line, the pressure line. So I hit the pressure line right there. And again, it asked me what layer that happened in. So I'm here in this orangish brownish layer, which is the inner core. The number 15 is inner core. So the next one, let's double check. So 2.4. So here's 2.5, maybe a little below that. Hit the line, and yes, that puts us in this yellow layer, which is the outer core. So you knew how to do it. I do want to say, see how I wrote on this? You guys are welcome to write on your reference table. And if it gets too messy that you can't see because you wrote on it too much, I can give you a new one. So don't stress about that. It helps me to write on it. If it would help you, go for it, write on it. Are there any more that you don't want me to call on you because you're not sure you understood them? All right, so it's fair game for all the rest of them? All right. How about this? Volunteer for an answer. What 2 layers make up the lithosphere? Raise your hand if you want to answer this one. Go ahead. Rust and rigid mantle, right on the reference table. There is the lithosphere, tells you in brackets, that's the crust and rigid mantle. All right, you're out, no more for you. Sorry. All right, who's gonna volunteer what 2 elements compose the inner core? Iron and nickel, again, right on the reference table. Inner core, and I know you can't see mine, but you have yours in front of you so you can look. It does say iron and nickel. I wasn't sure if we were going to get to this question, but we had no problem getting to that yesterday during class. So hopefully you were able to tell me which layer is liquid and explain it from the reference table. No, you're done. So you're done. Who else is next? Which one's liquid and how do you know from the reference table? Come on, I'll just call you. Go ahead. Outer core. What's above the melting point? Temperature. So we have the actual temperature hotter than the melting point. So that's like a summer day when it's hotter than the melting point of water. So we'll have liquid water. So outer core, and how do you explain it? It's because interior temperature is hotter than melting point. And I liked how you gave me the opportunity to kind of correct you a little bit. You said, what'd you say? Because it's hotter. Okay. You said because it's hotter than the melting point. In earth science, we don't have to talk in official complete sentences, but you do have to talk in a complete thought. So instead of saying it's, in case that leaves room for errors, just give me what you're talking about. So the temperature. Who's got the pressure at the stiffer mantle outer core boundary? I think so. I put away my answer key, but yes, 5,000. Temperature at a depth of 3,000. I think you read the wrong one. Go down one more for question 6. It's not. Oh, I know what you did. Did I skip one? I skipped one. Hey, you're right, Brad. Sorry. Thanks everybody for correcting me. Good job, Brad. All right, now this next one, a depth of 500. I can't hear you. Yeah. I know what you did wrong in the back, Hayden. It says 500. What? How to get number 4? What is the pressure at this? So let's go back to number 4 then. So what is the pressure at the stiffer mantle, outer core, the boundary between them? So just this line right here. So we go down and I wanted the pressure. Oh, that Megan. Who gave me that 5,000 and why did I say it was okay? Thank you. Stiffer mantle, outer core boundary. Okay, that was me. Follow that line down right there to the pressure. 1.5. Not sure where the heck I would have gotten the 5,000 for, but 5,000 does go here. Oh boy, man, I'm a wreck. Yay, good. You should have said something when I was that different than you. Oh, I am not perfect. I am just better than most. All right, depth of, so then this one, does everybody agree we're good with the 5,000 for number 5? Yeah, okay, good. Did I just screw all of you up? Make you doubt yourselves? All right, number 6. This one though, I do think it just requires a little bit of being careful because it does say 500. 500's way over here. It's not even at that dotted line. That dotted line's like 600 or 700. So you go to 500, read up and over. So somewhere around 2,000. I had 2,100. I heard a bunch of you say like 2,200 or 2,000. All of those are good. But if you said something much higher, like 6,000 something, you went over to 5,000 instead of 500. So I know, Hayden, you mentioned that. So you went to 5,000 instead of 500. How about number 7, a pressure at the depth of 5,000? I'm calling you people who didn't answer yet. 3.5? 3.1, good, because 3.5 was too high. I had just plain old 3, but 3.1 would have been fine too. All right, somebody else knew. What's the temperature at a depth of 1,000? Yeah, Kendra. Yepers. Eli, were those the ones you needed me to explain? Okay, so for that, we just go to a depth of 1,000. Now be careful because 1,000 is not the dashed line. 1,000 is here. You go to 1,000, go up till you hit the temperature line, go over. So a little bit higher than 3,000. So that's where the 3,100 or 3,200. That's not so bad. Now we're at the pressure at a depth of 3,500. Who's got this one? 2. I also have 2. So again, so you go to 3,500, which is halfway. Go up till you get to the pressure line and it hits right there at 2. Temperature at a depth of 5. Oh my gosh, 6. Oh my gosh, this number, 5,000. Did you say 6,100? The burst. 300? Okay, let's look. So we go to 5,000. Oh, so yeah. So what did we say? We said 161 works, 62 works, 63 is fine. As long as you were smaller than 6,500, because you can see it's definitely smaller than halfway. They are going to be a little lenient like that. So you're okay. How about the next one? So we're on 11 now. Who's got that one for me? 0.3. How about the temperature at a depth of 4,500? 6,000. And I will warn you, I think the next two are trick questions. Not trick questions. They're nice and easy once you actually read them correctly. So what layer is the temperature 4,000? Go ahead. You want to answer that one? Stiffer mantle. Who put outer core? If you put outer core, you fell for their trick, and let me show you. So it says, what is the, name the layer where the temperature is 4,000. So if you find temperature of 4,000, that's right there. So that's a temperature of 4,000. You go over till you hit the line, which is right here. And that's clearly in the stiffer mantle. For those of you who put outer core, you went to a depth of 4,000. So you just have to read carefully. That's another Regents trick. You have to answer the question they ask you. All of you who put stiffer mantle or outer core, you did a great job of telling me the layer that is at that depth, but that wasn't the question they asked. So even though you know what you're doing, you didn't answer the right question. So I would have to mark that wrong. Why doesn't everybody give number 14 a look real quick before you answer it? Because it's another exactly the same as the last one. So double check 14 right now, everybody. You just want to give the answer? Yeah, let's everybody think here. Now that you've rethought, what layer is a temperature of 6,000? That one is the outer core. Again, if you put inner core, you did the depth. So 6,000, hit the line, that's in the outer core. If you had done 6,000 depth, that's why you got that one wrong. And so we already did 15 and 16, so inner core and then outer core. And the last question here is name the mountain range next to the trench on the diagram. So this one threw a lot of people because I didn't talk about anything about a mountain. Because really it was just a scavenger hunt on this reference table. It is the Cascade. There's the trench and there's the mountains, and you can even see the little mountain. And it's the Cascades. Those are over on the West Coast, over in Washington and Oregon area. Does anybody have any questions on any of those? All right, so at the end of the period yesterday, and not so much with your class, but throughout the day, I was getting a little worried. I was thinking people were struggling with this more than they should have. You guys seem to do pretty good. And based on your homework, other than a few tricks, it sounds like you knew what you were doing. Because of yesterday, because I was so nervous, instead of assigning these next 2 pages as just do it homework, I decided to take the rest of today to let you try these in class right now. So it's still homework. I'm just assigning it right now, and you have about 15, 20 minutes to get started on it. I wanted to do this so that you have Mr. D and I to help you. So I need you guys to do me a favor, and if you are stuck, you need to ask for help. Do not sit there struggling. I need you to use this time with Mr. D and I as best as you can. So if you need help, you need to call us over. We're going to look over your shoulders too, but if you need help, call us over. And I know just because you're my 3rd class of the day, people have been stuck on this thickness question. So all day people have been struggling with the thickness. So it's asking how thick is each layer. Thickness isn't on here. Nowhere on this reference table does it say how thick a layer is. But it's really just asking like how wide is a layer. So how are we going to figure out how thick? Let's do the stiffer mantle. How will we figure out how thick this layer is? What do we got to do? I can't hear you. The right side? No, the right side, that's the density. I want to know how wide it is. It's not on here, but what can I find on here that's going to help me? Yeah, the depth. I know where this layer starts, and I know where that layer stops. So let's see how we do this. So let's do the stiffer mantle. How far down does the stiffer mantle start? So if we go to the top of the stiffer mantle, what's this number right here? 600 or 700, that's what we've been doing all day. We did it yesterday and today. And then here's where it ends at the bottom. What do we say this dotted line was? It's not on the 3,000. 2,900. So how will I figure out if I know where it starts and I know where it stops? How do I figure out how thick it is then? Just subtract. So we take that 2,900 minus the 700. 2,200 kilometers thick. So you're going to do that. So I know I skipped, but I just did this one, 2,200 kilometers. And then the other one that's been throwing everybody off is the density of the asthenosphere. Find the asthenosphere. So it's the red layer if you have the colored one. If you read over, what do you see? There's no density listed there in the red section. But if you notice, it's part of the mantle. So the asthenosphere and the mantle have the same density. So 3.4 to 5.6. What? Say it again. I wrote that in depth. Got it. I wrote that in depth. I meant to write that here. Thank you. If you wrote that in depth, go correct it as well. I'm batting 1,000 today. Must mean I should just go home. We should all go home. I agree. I vote for I'll go home. All right. So you guys have about 15 minutes. I'm done talking. Work on your home already. Okay. All right. So let us know if you have any questions. Again, this is your homework. So homework, pages 4 and 5, and it's due tomorrow, December 1st. Weird. All right.